depressing. I'm alone.
Let's do this.
Hello. First of all, Andy H sends his utmost apologies, and he's absolutely genuinely gutted that you're here and he's not, and he's like pissed off because he thought it was just gonna be me, and I think he was quite gleefully happy that it was just gonna be me sat talking to myself. Oh, I can't make it tonight, mate. And then I was like, oh, what you did? Oh, I got dinner with a friend, going around a friend's house, and then I was like, oh, I've got Deadman in as a last minute, like literally throwing a Pokeball out, caught a Charizard.
I don't know about
Just
that.
coming in as a last minute guest. And Andy was like, oh, I'm gutted I can't be there. I'm gutted. I was like, yeah, he's invented dinners so he didn't have to come hang out with me, but he would really love to be here and see you.
Well,
so.
thanks. Well, we can always do another episode.
Definitely. And we've been wanting to try and get you in for a long time. Things haven't quite aligned. And yeah, mate, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Dave can't be here. I don't know, something to do with his fit sister. I don't know, some excuse.
Okay.
But it's cool that you've come in, because otherwise this episode would literally be me sat here talking to myself, which I guess would be like that Garth thing on Wayne's World. He's like, I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time? So Alex Deadman joins me on the couch, very, very last minute. We're going to do a short episode, a little bit of a chat about you, and hot off the mic with DJ AG.
Yeah.
Literally 5 days ago.
Yeah, that was great. It was really
Sick.
cool. Yeah, it was good. It was nice to be. I think I said it on the stream. I've performed all over Sheffield,
Yeah.
but never outside the town hall on the street, and it was great. And you could see the stream and the comments, and
Yeah, man.
it was hosted with Waterbear Music College.
Yeah. Which you work with, right?
I worked with Waterbear, and it was really good to make that happen. So the idea was, and this is what we've done, is that he does a scholarship. So there's a scholarship in his name at Waterbear.
Unbelievable.
And to celebrate that, we did the live stream, and I worked with the Waterbear team. Shout out to Eve and Marino, worked really hard on that. But we kind of put together a wish list of acts, and AG's obviously done we did the Ed Sheeran thing. You know, that's already happened.
Yeah.
Also loads of rappers, and the idea of this one was a bit of a broader range of artists. He wanted bands. I was like, bands on it's DJ. And
wow. Yeah.
so we did have bands. The Tivolis were there. Reverend and the Makers.
Yeah. Saw Rev roll up. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura had a trumpet.
Yeah.
It was great I love John because it's really easy to make things happen. He just WhatsApp him. He was like, yeah, I'll come. I'll bring our kids, meaning Chris.
Big Steve Bracknell was there. Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of the Royal Oak lot.
Bob the Bucket. Lording it up in the back.
Yeah. And Laura will bring a trumpet. Done.
So good.
I'll bring a USB. It was like a 2-line email, and that was it. Sorted.
Smashed it.
Yeah, and Steve Edwards.
Yeah. Oh my God, Steve killed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, really
killed it.
Yeah, lovely. And then the Lord Mayor. So I only met her fairly recently, but she'd said, oh, I wish I'd known more about the Ed Sheeran one, and I said, well, look, it's happening again. So let's do it. And she said, can I DJ? I was like, I don't know. Can you DJ? Of course you can. Yeah. And it was a great moment. Really nice. She played some Somali bangers. Pleased to say, I have some of those in my record box because I do occasionally DJ the Broomhill Infant School Disco.
Right.
And I like to play a bit of music for all the different kids, and try and reflect their backgrounds a bit. So
yeah, man.
I have to have these tunes in the box. But yeah, it went down really well.
So it was like a tick on your little credibility, like you were playing the right tunes as well, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. She only played 3 tunes, and I knew I knew 2 of them. So
mate, 2 out of 3.
I was pleased with that.
That's decent. Yeah. Nice.
No, it was a great moment. She's a very cool Lord Mayor. She understands the assignment and is doing it very well.
Definitely. So you guys, I saw a little bit of your stream because I was talking to you before. I was hiding in a toilet at a private event wearing a blue suit to a black tie dinner that I was DJing at. And I knew that the AG thing was going on, but I was sort of like just checking in every now and then. So I did catch a little bit of you guys on the stream. But you're playing like jungle outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Like when you first got into music and DJing and jungle music, I guess like that would have seemed so far away from
Yeah.
something that sound would ever do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, gosh, there's a lot to unpick there. It always amazes me. Maybe it shouldn't that it sustains so long. You know, it's still.
yeah.
I still meet young people, even probably more than ever, who like jungle. It's not like they just like drum and bass. You know, they actually like old school jungle. And there's all sorts of producers making new old school jungle, and I'm just really glad. You know, that it's still got a. I think it reached a point where it sort of can't be broken now.
Yeah. It's like infinite. It's like
yeah.
Do you think it's protected better than drum and bass is?
It's different. I mean,
I know. Sorry, I know it's a difficult conversation.
No, I mean
but...
it's all right.
Yeah.
My therapist says I can deal with it. I don't know. I can't differentiate exactly. No one can. But I will say so. In the 93, 94. I mean, there was a few moments for me that were really important. So one of those was Music in the Sun. So that was a festival. It was originally at Sadaka.
Yeah.
And then I think sort of 91, 92, 93 was at the Don Valley Bowl.
Right.
And my dad, Paparal,
Big up Paparal.
Got
to.
He had a stage there, Juju Club, still going. They had a tent, and it was at a time when sort of Jamaican music was very strong. Like the community was very strong in Sheffield, and the music was very strong. You had everything from the kind of Shakademus and Pliers.
Yeah, man.
You know, hitting something 1993, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. You had the sound system clash culture was at its absolute zenith, I think.
Wow.
Saxon versus Addies in Bermuda in 1993. If you can take about 2 hours of audio there, and there's like thousands of tracks that have sampled the audio from it. And I saw Saxon Sound in particular with a full rig. And I knew jungle. I'd been listening because I was exposed to all sorts of things. I was 10.
Which is, I mean, by modern day standards or by any child standards, I think when I was 10, I was listening to terrible music on the radio, maybe Simply Red from my mum's side.
I love Simply Red.
and all of that. But like to have this wealth of things exposed to you at that age, that's a really beautiful thing. And like, big up your dad, I guess, for
definitely
being so entrenched in the musical scene in Sheffield and constantly pushing things forward and opening doors and broadening.
Yeah, well, I heard a bit, but interestingly, I had to be something different. So like he was a lot of Juju Club was global. We don't use the term world music anymore because it's quite derogatory. It's Western pop music and then the rest of the world music.
Yeah.
But that was the bracket at the time. But it was quite heavily Latin and it was quite an African. That was the kind of two big influences on the Juju Club. As you may know, there's quite a big Chilean community in Sheffield, and you had bands like Palia Rumba, and there's a whole world there, which now I think is fantastic music. But at the time, I remember I had to listen to African music in the car constantly.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I think just because it was forced upon me. Now it's amazing. I love
get what you mean. Yeah.
So when I suppose it's like the rave culture, hardcore dance music, which definitely Dad wasn't into.
Yeah.
And it was a bit like, you know, when you have to try every flavour and then suddenly something clicks. And I heard this jungle. I was like, wow, what is this? And like, this is what I like. It's got this energetic, it's exciting, it's a bit scary. I mean, I had jungle hits in 1993 and it had tunes like Ricky by Remark on it and Gangster Kid by Shy FX. And it was a bit edgy and a bit, you know, and a lot of friends at that time were getting into like gangster hip hop, you know, Snoop Dogg and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But this was my thing, and at Music in the Sun, I saw it on a massive stage for the first time. I'd heard it, like on my Discman, and my cassettes, but I hadn't experienced it.
You sat in front of a speaker with it on. You've had it in your headphones, but then through a PA system, through a sound system.
Yeah. I think General Levy was there, and the kind of the Sheffield / Northern crew. So you had DJ SS, Lester, Mongoose was definitely there.
Yeah.
The sort of Vibalite crew, and there was an Easy D, of course.
Yeah.
And it really rocked and I was alone, so Dad had the tent, so I just wandered around the festival. I had a $5 to last me a whole day.
So you're 10 at this point still? Yeah.
Just wandering around on my own and finding stuff. And it blew me away. It really did. But also at that time,
what a vibe, man!
There was a documentary on either BBC Two or Channel 4. I want to say BBC Two, and it was about Shy FX. So
right,
he was 16, and he was making tunes on his sister's synth in her bedroom or in his bedroom at home as a kid.
Yeah.
And it was about, there was a kind of political dimension to it. So you asked about your question. Come back to your question.
No, yeah, please.
You
Yeah,
asked
yeah.
about the sustainability of it, and is it sort of undefeatable now? And so when it had its first flare up, when like a new sound comes out,
Yeah.
particularly back then where there was still lots of gatekeepers and things were more tightly controlled. So underground sound blows up, major record labels get involved, money gets involved, and these kids, and they were like literally kids, teenagers, had the foresight to very consciously kind of unite and not sell out. And
Wow.
it was all there in the documentary. It talked about it, and Shire was being offered checks with 6 figures on them to sign tracks, and they didn't. They collectivized. They formed the Junglists Against Perpetrators movement, and it was very political. And that's why there was the controversy with General Levy, because he did his hit. He had a hit, and then some say he kind of claimed too much credit for the sound and whatever. But it's not that they would never do forays into commercialism and into the charts. That has happened. I mean, Shy's done it.
Yeah,
but
famously so.
Absolutely.
Recently.
And tracks like Shake Your Body. I mean, that's more than 20 years now.
Yeah.
But they did it. They didn't. There's that thing where if something just comes, it's like you get the crash. Something blows up, and it becomes fashionable.
Yeah.
Fashion moves on, and it can inflate too rapidly. And it's like a stock market. It crashes, and they knew as kids. They knew that if they sort of selfishly took those early paychecks, that it would have destroyed the longevity of the scene. And I was really inspired by it. So there was the music, which I loved, but there's also what I perceived as a bit of a political dimension as well.
Yeah, there's sort of an intelligence to it, and I guess that everybody wants that kind of. I'd love if like music that I liked when I was sort of a teenager, or sort of was protected like that. Like I guess like dubstep being an opposite example of that. As soon as America got hold of it, as soon as it became like big rooms rather than tiny rooms, the sound had to adapt to fill those spaces, and then completely changed and essentially kind of killed it, or definitely changed its direction of travel.
100%.
I think it kind of comes back around again now, especially with like Scream and Benga reuniting, and I guess that they sort of do lean towards that kind of America side of it, but also were there in the beginning, making it what it is.
I remember taking them to house parties on Gel Street.
That's
at the Tuesday
crazy,
Club.
man.
It was so busy in that house.
You have so many nuts stories about stuff that you've done over the years.
Dubstep definitely blew up quicker because you can't, when things are online.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like, are gatekeepers a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I think probably not, but the fact that it couldn't be controlled. So that kind of collectivism that happened with Jungle, you wouldn't actually be able to enforce that because maybe those core producers made some decisions, but it's too open. Everybody can access it quickly. Everyone can replicate it quickly. You don't need thousands of pounds of gear, and you don't need to be in the know to be able to make stuff happen. So, I mean, with 2007 Halloween, I paid Casper and Rusco 250 quid each for our Club Shush event, the legendary Club Shush. And I was like 250 quid each. I'll give him like 400. There's a bit of negotiating, haggling on that 250.
Yeah.
I wasn't totally comfortable with it. Cy Scott Exodus assured me that it was worth it, and he was right. And they recorded their so Halloween 2007, they recorded their Fabric Live CD the next day.
Wow.
And they credit that event, the Sheffield event, as being the inspiration. So the set they played in Sheffield went so well that they replicated it for the mix CD.
Dude.
And then next year they were wanting $5,000 a piece.
Yeah, and then you get.
And I was done.
Come on, yeah.
That wasn't. But I think, as you said, that you do have now. Youngster is like a permanent kind of, he was long-term friend and permanent inspiration.
Yeah.
That kind of deep dubstep sound has a scene still. It has fans. Maybe it's not thousands of records, it's not billions of streams, but it has something sustainable. I think what I really liked about dubstep in the early years was the restraint.
Yeah.
it was a vibe. It was meditative.
That's do you know what, that's exactly the term that I like wouldn't give it myself, but like I was looking for that. I was looking
Right,
for something to
yeah.
describe it. That's it. The feeling of walking into a room, especially I think because when I first started going out as well, I guess you maybe had a similar experience when you first saw jungle. Maybe not, because it's not quite as meditative.
No.
But like it's a different thing that like grabs your ears, and I was like, it's got its own groove.
Yeah.
It's got its own sound, its own kind of like soundscape.
Yeah.
There's sort of a dress code to it, but it's not really.
Yeah.
Also, it's like very relaxed.
Yeah.
Like you don't really have to show off.
No.
You don't really have to like, I don't know. You don't have to, I don't know, put like lots of effort in. You just have to be there, enjoy the music. The room's smoky, the ceilings are low,
Yeah.
it's dark. There's a big kind of focus on like how everything looks now, lighting
Yeah.
and spots to pose in for your photographs. There was never really anything of that with dubstep.
No.
It seems very black and white. It seems very like
Yeah.
it was strobes, and it
Yeah.
wasn't very much else. And then
No.
it was kind of
Well, in plastic
big systems.
Yeah. Big systems, low lighting in Plastic People in Shoreditch was exactly described. It was small, it wasn't a massive club.
Yeah.
There was a red light, and that was it. And at exciting moments, the red light came on.
Yeah. But
That's
that's a vibe though.
It is a vibe.
Just keep this real like simple.
Yeah.
Like there's the light shows and stuff obviously are amazing now
Yeah.
that you can do, but again, like it makes it less about the music than it was.
Yeah.
And you come in and the bass is just like
Well, yeah. And I mean, I remember when sort of 2007, 8, and when you had tunes, when it started to get to the kind of, I don't want to use the word bro step because I just hate it, but when you get to it gets a bit jump up and you hear
more bigger room stuff, I guess.
Yeah, tunes like 26 bass and not Haunted, but like SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And it's the energy lifts, and you can't really come back from that. It becomes a bit of an arms race, and suddenly it's like, oh, we can crank it up. This is a challenge I have when imagine playing a scratchy 93/4 jungle set after a really upfront drum and bass set.
Yeah. I get you.
You can't. It doesn't really work because the sound is so full on the D&B. It's faster.
Yeah.
If you have a whole night of old school jungle, it's fine, but the contrast, it's very hard once you've kind of opened that door.
Yeah,
it's very hard to go back again.
Yeah, man.
And I think that did, it happened. It all happened just so quickly. It went from that 250 quid to Casper and Rusco to Britney Spears.
Yeah,
in like a matter of months.
It really did. Like it raced, man.
It did.
I never knew that about that Club Shush set.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Club Shush because I think I don't know if it closed before I got to go.
Right.
I think I saw like an event advertised there and never saw of it again.
Yeah.
Was it true that when you went in there, they weren't a licensed venue, so you swapped your money for Monopoly money and then paid for your drinks with that? Or is this just a legend
not
that
at
I've
our
heard?
event?
Right, okay.
We definitely have done events where it wasn't quite like that, but you'd run a raffle. We were
right.
We were mostly licensed.
Yeah.
Sorry, pardon
No,
me.
yeah, you're pardoned.
Sorry, I can't talk in it. I've got to stop, unfortunately. No, oh, it's not the time. So we definitely were licensed.
Right.
Apart from a bit of time on New Year's Eve 2008. I don't know. We had Ray Keith, N-Type, and I think Jar Tubbies. 3 rooms, techno room as well.
Just a little lineup.
They had N-Type, we had N-Type and Ray Keith in our room, and it was the massivest. It was just the biggest ever space, like far too big.
Yeah,
there was definitely a moment where a raid. It sounds a bit dramatic. A number of police came. They didn't actually close us down, but I had all the cash in a body wallet. Which I love that. I've still got that body wallet, and I don't really get to use it so much anymore. No one has cash.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But it was the body wallet. You wear it under your clothes,
Right.
and I had all the cash in it.
Yeah.
And I remember this, and they were all around me, and I had this that moment. It's a bit like when you have a bad event, and nobody comes, or when you really want the ground to just swallow up.
Yeah. It stinks. Yeah.
You just want to be anywhere but there.
Yeah.
And you're trying to exert outwardly sort of calm and joy, but inwardly you're just dying. I remember feeling like that, just thinking they're going to get me and they're going to take the money and we're going to be so.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
You made it out. Body
made it
wallet.
out,
Body
yeah.
wallet made it home.
But I mean, that for me, Club Shush was very much later on because we'd already done on the other side of the road the Wicker Arches,
Right. Yeah.
which was Head Charge.
Which is your dad's event?
It was
that,
it was
that
Alan
right?
and
Yeah,
Jamie, who co-ran that, and that. So it was Jamie was more the ravey side, the acid techno trance.
Yeah.
150 beats per minute. I remember the metal staircase just vibrating, and then upstairs was Juju, which was more varied, and that's where Jungus Alliance were. Some of our early sets were there.
Amazing.
But I worked the door, so we went. First I went was I was 15.
Yeah.
And the bouncers had been briefed. I mean, I looked not 15. I looked prepubescent. Let's just be honest.
You described yourself in Jack's podcast as like looking between 10 and 12.
Right,
when you
yeah.
were that
Okay,
age,
yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah.
And people just were horrified that we were there. But I was just taking it all in, it was fine. I mean, people come up to me like, why are you here? You shouldn't be.
Well, like really, people were coming up like, what are you doing here? This
like
is
people,
terrible.
people off their heads, like, I was like ruining their bus because they were like, "There's actual children."
They feel like
here.
I had to be a responsible adult, but there's this kid here.
But I was like, "I'm
what's
cool,
going on?"
you mind yourself." And then from late 90s, early noughties, I took the door. So one of my first proper jobs in music was to run the box office at Head Charge, and
Amazing, man.
it was all cash. The body wallet was in full effect.
Oh yeah.
We were protected in a concrete sort of pillbox, which had like a massive metal door and shutter and bouncers around us. It was great. It was like, and we didn't know anybody, or I didn't. So
was it a dicey time? Why was it? Was just a level of security, or was it just that's the setup?
Just like you had to.
It sounds like you're in like it's some kind of like what are the people that come with the shields on that collect, collect the money with the
Securitas.
Securitas, yeah.
G4S.
Yeah.
I mean, you did, because everything was cash then.
Yeah.
There did need to be a degree of security.
Yeah.
But it was Head Charge was a pretty good vibe, There was if there was trouble, it was mostly from my group. Not me personally.
Yeah.
There was just I don't know. Some people have got that face that just seems to create problems. And anyway, it was. But
no names named.
No names named.
That's great. Okay.
No. It was a pretty joyful vibe, and people used to do poi, and
so proper old school.
Yeah,
I love. My missus is a bit of a hippie. She loves like when we get to a festival and people are doing poi.
Yeah,
and she'd be like, I could do that.
Right, yeah.
She'd pick him up and she'd be like, oh, it's been a few years, I can't.
I don't
but
know
then
if
people
you've
will
had,
really get into it. And
I don't think you've had Boz from Heim. You should definitely get Boz.
Not yet.
He'd be a great interviewee, and he hates poi with passion. it was a real bone of contention. He had his so his group's called Heim, and he had a record label, and there was an office here at Stag Works,
right?
The Juju office. There was all sorts going on in there.
Yeah.
Steve Rimmer had his first ever desk space in there.
Big up Steve.
Big up Steve indeed. Tickets were good. And what they called the lot who did Park Hill. What's it called? The company and they're now looking at they're like a massive urban splash.
Urban Splash, right?
They started in
the guys that
office.
redeveloped Park Hill.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
they started in Stagworks.
not just in Stagworks, but it's specifically in the Juju office. They had a desk there. It was just humble beginnings, just one desk space, and a magazine called Sandman. It was
the music magazine that did a lot of reporting.
Yeah,
late 90s. Early 2000s, earlier than that maybe, I don't know.
No, I think that's about right. Yeah, I can't remember when it stopped, but probably like mid 2003, 4. But there was a lot of in and outs, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it wasn't a productive office, but it certainly wasn't a very formal or corporate office.
Yeah.
There was often whatever time of day somebody would be smoking a joint. But Boz was there. He had his studio next door, and all these sort of hippies and like psychedelic people would come in and out. And he held no truck for it. Absolutely loved Boz and my dad and his kind of interactions. And people would come in and like waffle onto him about stuff like poi.
Yeah.
And he wasn't keen.
Amazing.
But Boz is an incredible musician and a great guy. So I suggest you get him on as a guest.
Definitely, I'd love to. The more you talk about kind of your experiences and like colouring your sort of like the way that you've seen life throughout the years and stuff, I guess working with your dad and working in Sheffield, which is just a really great kind of creative city where I think if you're doing something, like people just tend to sort of end up coming together in some
Yeah.
ways and generally having like good respect for each other. It just like, because you do such a varied wealth of stuff now. I
Mm.
guess like those beginnings maybe illuminated like that there was another way. You don't have to just drive a bus or
No, yeah,
work in an
definitely.
office. And if you do work in an office, your office could be like this. Someone could smoke a joint in the corner rather than like
Yeah,
wear a tie and a shirt.
yeah,
and-
yeah. I mean, I didn't really. It was more the other way. I didn't really. The formal job was never like. It wasn't really. It
yeah,
didn't
what's
really ever.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
really was. I mean, I had jobs. I worked for Drum and Bass Arena.
Dude, that is so cool, by the way. But just to throw it out there, big up to Jack on Vowart 0114 because I did listen to or like recap some of your pod
Okay,
on the
cool.
way over. That started in Sheffield.
It started in Sheffield.
Drum and
yeah.
Bass Arena, man.
Drum and Bass Arena started in Sheffield. The Risky.
It's crazy.
This might be slightly mythical. So it was in the Fretwell Downing building in the co-op at Banner Cross.
Wow.
And it's such a weird place for this epicenter of drum and bass, and it really
Yeah, man.
was. And I think Risky was working there, and he wasn't. And it's like 1996, and he built a website as a fan of D&B on
Yeah.
somebody else's server. And then when he kind of got discovered, instead somebody negotiated a bit, possibly Dell, to say, look, rather than like sacking him, why don't we make a go of this and try and make a business out of it? And that's that might have to double check on the full details there, but that's roughly it. Because Fretwell Downing was like a catering company,
Right.
so it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But it because it was so. I mean, I look back now. I mean, I was getting sent to events to live stream. Maybe mentioned on the podcast in like 2002, 1.
Yeah, dude, but that's so like great. Like that's like that's future shit. That's like you
Yeah.
were doing what is now the norm.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
26 years later.
Well, I mean, I wasn't the archetype. I was just the architect. Sorry. They'd send me. I remember going solo to Milton Keynes, to the Sanctuary in Milton Keynes,
Dude.
like legendary venue with
Yeah.
a DV camera, a laptop, and Henry Firth, big up Self Assassin, had put the software on it, a really, really long Ethernet cable,
Yeah.
and that was it. And it was just like, just open the laptop, load up the software, and then hit record, make sure you've got an Ethernet in there.
It's sort of like what we're doing in here right
It
now,
is,
but
yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is 26 years later, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
And I found the dudes whose job it was to make the jungle tapes. So we put
Wow.
we put some of our HQ in that, and they were recording onto DAT, and yeah, their job was to sit there and I guess engineer a bit and make the tapes.
So cool,
And
man.
yeah, well, and I didn't really, and I used to stand there and get a sore arm, because I just have like 8 hours of a rave. I remember thinking after the next half hour, I'm going to swap arms as a treat, because
Just a little treat. You go to the lefty for a
yeah,
bit.
because it's really aching. And I was definitely up close and personal with all my drum and bass heroes.
Back in the day when you're doing this you're literally live streaming drum and bass
Mm-hmm.
in a very rudimentary way. Was
Yeah.
it just on the website? Did you have any gauge on like how many people were tuning in? Did it have like like I guess live streams now have like you were saying with AG, you have like a comment section where
Yeah.
people are like watching from here,
No.
like, this is sick, or
No,
it was just literally
there was no. It was
into
one
the-
way
into the
yeah,
abyss.
Yeah, so you just from a viewer's point of view, there'd be a browser window.
yeah.
It'd be like a little player on the site
Yeah.
and some very low resolution images and audio.
Does any of that survive today?
Yes,
kind of
you
thing?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2002, we did LTJ Bookham at the Forum on a Sunday evening.
Wow.
That was like the big setup. So we had 2 cameras, Tim on one,
Sick.
me on the other, Henry Firth on the video editing. So I had like a little video mixer.
Oh, go on, one between
Yeah,
camera one,
yeah,
camera
two angles, bro.
Tim coming to you. Stop picking your nose. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. And we filmed it, and
Wow.
all of that is on YouTube. With LTJ Bookham and Conrad, it's like broken into
Sick.
sections. It's still there now.
Dude, I'm gonna have
I'd
to try
check.
and
Yeah.
find that and put it under here.
And
under link.
the Forum felt like the perfect place for a Bookham set.
yeah,
It was a little bit classy,
yeah.
and it just was great. I remember his tech rider. I mean, I think this is more public domain now, but I remember seeing this enormous document which included the exact brand of speaker for the monitors. The
Yeah,
angle.
yeah.
There was diagrams with angles, and you're thinking like,
That's kind of
come
crazy.
on, man, this is a race scene. Like you're lucky
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
get a monitor, but no. Even,
I'm more of that. I'm more
Yeah.
of that side of things. I'd be like, if I turn up and there's a monitor, that's great. If not, I'll just stick my headphones on, 2 ears. Yeah. Okay, cool. Make it work.
But I mean,
Just kind of make it work.
yeah. I mean, to his credit, it was all vinyl mixing, and you need precision. But
Yeah. And it was being filmed by two
Yeah.
young upstarts, and he probably knew that in 25 years you're gonna be able to watch this back. So we want to do it right if we're gonna do it.
I think it was a drum and bass. I think it was an album. I think he did an arena album,
Wow.
and it was an album launch.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And that felt quite late on, and then and that evolved into they left to go to London, the main operation. But then they left the record shop in the Forum,
Right.
and I worked there with TK, Tom Kennedy, who's like a drum bass DJ, used to be a NY Sushi resident.
Right.
But I was still encoding, so I had to. I might have been on the other podcast. We had to record. Vinyls would come in, and well, originally we were doing polyphonic ringtones. So because it was a lot of like AI.
So you're selling ringtones.
Selling
as well,
ringtones.
out of the
Selling
shop, drum and bass
no.
arena
So this was from still when it was at the co-op
on the
nearly.
website. Sorry.
Yeah, and then it progressed into very early digital downloads, like super early. I remember getting the catalog. Ram Records sent a DVD with their entire back catalog digitized, and I was like,
"Whoa,
my God!"
Yeah.
But I mean, we weren't even really DJing with CDs back then.
Yeah,
but it was still cool to have it. And they did do very early digital downloads, but prior to that, we were recreating. So I remember doing The Pulse by Bad Company on a phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. I can play it now. I used to play it on the phone to my friends. I'm like, do you want to hear The Pulse? So you got 3 notes. And we sell that. People were paying good money for this.
Yeah. £2.50 off my credit.
Exactly.
Coming out.
Yeah. It's the Crazy Frog era. But
did you ever do any of those little graphics that like replaced the carrier thing?
Yeah,
Drum
they
bass
did.
arena.
Yeah, they 100% did. Yeah, that was
graphic.
people were paying a lot for a handful of pixels.
Yeah.
Because there was no way you could like do that yourself.
People like youngsters today, our kids will never understand how cool it was to customize like something that you shouldn't customize or shouldn't be able to customize. I think that was it. It was like a level of like rebellion, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. Like anything you can. Make it bespoke.
I'm not Orange, mate. I'm drum and bass arena.
Yeah. And then, but then the vinyl would come in and they'd get encoded. And I remember one of my jobs was I'd have to segment out ringtones, and we put little stings on them. So I had a whole bank of D&B people saying, "This is Twisted Individual, your mother SSS," and then we'd put, there's like loads of swearing on that one.
Yeah.
Then we'd just put it onto the ringtone and encode it into all these weird formats that phones needed. But even in the shop, so that carried on. So we'd have, as well as running the shop, we'd be ripping the vinyl. But then the vinyl were done, so there was a bit of a pecking order, and I can't say I was at the top of it, but particularly the jungly bits, they were, oh yeah, you and Tim can have that. So
you just ended up getting free swag from the shop.
Absolutely, and from all of the D&B releases were being sent by post to Banner Cross.
Yeah,
there's this unlikely hub of drum and bass, and then
do people know about this? Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I knew.
yeah, you knew because you were there, and now you're telling me on the podcast. But I'm like, because I think like Sheffield has so many musical, not secrets, but like so much music stuff that's happened here that people are like, oh yeah, that just happened here, and you're like, what? Like, why are people telling people about this? This is crazy because I guess people automatically assume drum and bass comes. It's all London, that, isn't it? Or,
exactly. Yeah. Well, and to be fair, that's where a lot of the vinyls are coming from.
Yeah, I guess it's like kind of made there, but then there's a lot more to it. Like,
it's a bit. I mean, it's a bit of a tech innovation story. Sheffield doing something that nobody else was doing and doing it very well.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, I was proud to do, and I was even a moderator on the Drum and Bass Arena forum. I mean,
what a claim to fame!
Tell you what was I can't even begin.
What a life
going on under the hood there.
Dude, what a life, man.
Yeah. But I heard the dubstep, I heard the CD in the Drum Bass Arena shop. Youngster Rinse FM.
Yeah.
And it must have been like a late 2005 mix. And all sorts of music just came in the shop. I don't really know how it got there. And I just put it on. I was like, that's cool. What is it? Garage. it's not garage. It's like, was it dark garage? I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then it's like, I'll play again. And then by the end of the day, I've been on my own in the shop all day. I played the CD again and again and again,
Wow.
and I'm googling. There was like bits. There was a sort of breadcrumb trail on the internet. There
Yeah.
wasn't much. There was a dubstep forum, but I figured out that Youngster worked at Black Market Records,
Right.
and because and that was available somewhere. And I knew Black Market Records. I already had been there. You know, I knew Nicky Black Market. I knew Ray Keith.
Yeah.
I'd been there numerous times, but I didn't realize. But the dubstep scene was kind of blowing up from there too. So I just called the landline, and it's that moment, you know, you just kind of have a moment of inspiration. Just do something. Just call the landline. I was like, Youngster there. He's like, yeah, fine. I was like, all right, mate. I was like, yo, this dubstep's pretty cool, isn't it? He's like, yeah, mate, it's great, and that was it. And then we just chatted, and then we did the Dark Crystal event in February 2006 at the.
That's like the early
Probably-
2000s version, I
Yeah.
suppose, of sending someone a DM on Instagram, but then
Yeah.
them like
Yeah,
replying and chatting
Yeah,
to you
yeah,
and then agreeing to work with you and stuff. And I guess that does happen still, but like
Yeah.
it just seems so kind of
yeah.
beautiful. It seems more personal.
It
that
was
you-
very personal. 'Cause
You're
it was-
quite sleuthy in a way.
Yeah,
to find finding
Yeah.
this information out. Like when you find a sound or find something that you're interested in, you've got to hand it to you. You are.
Well, it's
you
a
do-
bit.
You
it's
get to know
obsession-
people.
It's obsessive.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is in that moment because it's that kind of needing to know everything about it and where. But I suppose it's. I like to insert myself into the. I don't just sort of sit back passively. I want to get in the mix. You know,
Yeah.
I want to know who the people are, and I want them to know me and to see what comes of that. I think that's.
But I think the reason that you do that is because you love the thing,
yeah.
not because you want like recognition,
No,
fame,
definitely
plaudits,
not.
or anything like that. It's
No.
because you're like, I love this thing. I need to be a part of it, and like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and anything I can do to help that,
Yeah.
I will do that. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's echoed in like all the other cool stuff that you do outside of music with Under the Stars and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess like Water Bear and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
bringing AG to Sheffield is
Yeah.
a crazy flex for children or kids or youngsters these days because
Yeah.
of the way that he's done
Well, it's.
things.
I mean, I
and-
certainly can't claim credit for
And-
bringing AG, but help me get the
yeah,
artists
yeah.
together.
Sorry, I know that it's all kind of collective
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but like you're part of
Yeah.
that.
I think it's
in
when
a way.
you're not forcing. You're not forcing something. It's a
Yeah.
bit like the thing with the Lord Mayor. So, you know, Water Bear AG loving the fact that she came on. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I did nothing. I really didn't. All I did was spoke to her about it,
Yeah.
and she really wanted to do it, and it's easy. So it's like it's just making that connection. If she was really unwilling and it was like forced, it wouldn't
Yeah.
have worked. And similarly, if on the other side, it's like, well, why would we want to do that? That doesn't sound cool. We don't like it. It's kind of it's just making a connection. I think because dubstep was still young then, having like advocates for it, somebody from the distant north
The
calling
distant
up,
north.
yeah, and saying,
Wow.
I mean, and Youngster's like so Essex,
Yeah.
and he's Romford, and I'm like from Sheffield, and it's just very far
It's
apart. I
unlikely
suppose.
pairing kind
Yeah,
of
and
coming together.
Yeah, but it was still fresh enough then that having that kind of outside interest was still valuable.
Yeah.
So
man.
like even a few months later, it might have been like, look, join the queue, but just managed to just get it at the right moment, and yeah, it definitely wasn't to kind of exploit it, and I didn't. I mean,
But I think that's another it's another kind of thing, isn't it? There's some people that get into these things because they just want to
yeah,
make money from them, like you were saying earlier with record labels
Yeah.
and jungle.
yeah,
But because you come from that sort of junglist aspect of things,
yeah,
I think you are all about kind of you are just sort of pushing things forward and encouraging and
Yeah.
like you said with the Lord Mayor or whatever, all it took was me to ask the question and make the connection, but you did.
yeah,
And a lot of people maybe wouldn't have.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think you maybe think to do things that other people don't think
Well,
to do.
yeah.
which
I mean,
is
it's
nice as
I have my company now is in communications, and like that's I've realised now it's actually almost more than the music.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's communicating with people.
Yeah.
And that goes back, in my family. That's like it's not just my dad, it goes way beyond that.
Right.
It's in my genes.
Yeah.
And, my grandma came to England with nothing, no
Right.
qualifications. English wasn't her first language, and she ended up being an interpreter, a tour guide. She worked with all sorts of people, worked in the arts, in music. She was a pianist. She spoke 9 languages.
Wow.
And her gift was that whoever you were, she would kind of bring you in and like open you up. I'm not as good as her, but I definitely I got something from that.
You learned a lot from her, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took her to Meadowhall when I was a kid, and I left her to go and buy an ice cream, and I came back and she'd inserted herself between an elderly Sheffield couple, and the lady said, this granny, she said, "Oh, your grandma's very interesting. She's been showing me photos of her with the Bedouin people in the desert."
Wow.
And the man looked a bit kind of browbeaten, but the lady was really interested and loving it. And she just, from nowhere, suddenly these were her new best friends. And
Whether that guy liked it or not, I bet he remembers it.
probably.
Or remembered
Probably.
it. Yeah.
I love the fact that she had photos of herself with the Bedouin people in the
Hey.
desert.
Yeah. Just with her. Oh no, but do you know what? Stupid me there. I'm thinking, oh yeah, because people just have all their photos with them all the time.
Yeah.
Not at that point in time.
No, these were actual
yeah,
photos.
yeah. These are printed out photographs.
Physical photos.
Yeah, in her bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you got in your bag? Mints. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check. Purse. Check.
Yeah.
Photos of me with the Bedouin people. Check.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Things I'd ever leave
Just
the
in
house
case.
without. Yeah.
You never know who you might meet.
That's
Yes.
it. Maybe sometimes she put things in her bag to take out. Be like, there's a story I've got to tell here somewhere.
I think storytelling is a big part of it. I mean, she was Russian Jewish, and
Right.
was born in Moscow, Palestine, and then came to England after the war. And
Wow.
having that the oral tradition, particularly being from a nomadic people,
Yeah.
where things aren't written down and your family history isn't. It's the complete opposite. You look at the stately homes, the Dukes of Buckinghamshire,
Yeah.
and they can see all of their ancestry on the wall, and it's all recorded, and
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. And it's the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
So the oral tradition and storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, she used to talk to me for hours and hours about her family, about her father,
Wow.
who was played some role in the Russian Revolution, and
Wow.
and his family, and it's going back and back and back.
And now you have
Yeah, I
these
don't- yeah,
stories,
right, yeah.
and you have to tell them as well.
It has
'Cause
to carry on.
Yeah, to carry them on.
It
Wow.
has to carry on. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
But
That's
and
fascinating.
that kind of storytelling is a bit in the genes.
Yeah.
I think it is, and that sort of desire to communicate and to like open people up. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, man.
And it's not so I can like sell them something or manipulate them. It's just because I want to make that connection.
Yeah. And you're genuinely interested in people, I think, as well. And
Yeah.
Mate, I always love like just the things that you're involved with. I mean, listening to Jack's podcast to try and recap a little bit, because this is a last minute one with you coming in, and I do like to try and do research on people and see what they've been up to and all that sort of stuff. But just even like Tickets for Good and everything that you work with, there's a lot of like giving back to the community and a lot about like it's bringing other people through as well, isn't it? It's like again, like opening doors for things to happen, whether someone walks through one or not. It's like there's a door there for you if you need it, kind of thing. And
Yeah. Well, there's a political dimension to it. I do believe in equity and equity of access, and I also recognise that not everybody has. We're not all born equal, and there's a bit of a sense for social justice, and and in a very small way. Sometimes I feel guilty that I'm not a politician, but actually I think that's just my way is my way, and I'm still doing something.
Yeah.
And I've no idea what party I'd join. I know which ones I wouldn't join.
You've got years to become a politician, man. Would you still, if you're running for Parliament, are you still Deadman Junglist on all your socials? You got to be.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. MP Deadman Junglist, man. That'd be sick. I'd love it. The Greens would have you, I'm sure.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky one because it feels like the kind of the Labour movement that's what's like hard baked into the family DNA.
Yeah.
My dad left the Labour Party, and like I say, I'd never be a Tory.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't join Reform, and I look forward to opposing them strongly, and I think that's coming, and I'm ready for that. But I don't know what party I'd join. But I sort of feel like there's still a lot that can be done on the outside, if that's a way of framing it.
Mate, absolutely. And I think also like politics is so kind of, I don't know, sticky in terms of like you get into it to try and make change, but then there's so many kind of
Yeah,
points
it
where they're just
changes
like,
you.
oh yeah, it'll take like 5 years to make that change. Whereas like outside of that, you can service people that need stuff kind of like now
Yeah,
by giving people opportunities to, I don't know, realize their potential,
yeah,
and you get more of I don't know, not an immediate reward from that, but like I don't know, you're still enacting change and like
Yeah.
positivity and
yeah, definitely.
giving people something they don't have.
Yeah,
So that's amazing.
yeah,
man.
and having to have to work with those people as well, and even people whose politics you maybe don't agree with. Like there's still
Yeah,
uh, my general feeling is that it's better to have a go. It's a bit like when you kind of, if people say, oh, don't work with that person, and there's the X, Y, Z and rumors and whatever. I'll always, wherever possible, I'll try and form my own opinions and kind of,
yeah.
because also people change,
And that is why it's taken you so long to get on the podcast, to be fair, isn't it? So just had to do a bit of research and thinking before, and then
Absolutely
yeah.
not. No. No, I mean,
We actually, when did I was trying to work out when we met, and I think it might have been the Tramlines DJ competition.
it was the Tramlines DJ.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
you brought it up. Yeah, it was. Did you win?
No, I didn't. I
won?
Well, it was a stitch up, wasn't it? Because he was your mate. So Luke Autograph won.
Okay.
We have
yeah,
had him
yeah.
on here. We talked about it,
Yeah.
and I know that he paid you a few pieces of silver
He didn't pay.
to win. there was like a bit of discourse around that at the time. Do you remember?
Oh my god.
Because you two were mates, weren't you?
Yeah, we were
before he went
mates,
into
yeah.
it, and he DJ'd a few things or whatever with yours, and then like when he won, loads of like other salty DJs that like didn't win. By the way, Luke was the worthy winner of that set because it was an opening set for Toddler T at the
Right.
Octagon, and everybody else played like
Okay.
mad kind of sets. I played like a weird kind of blend of kind of poppy,
Yeah.
dancey mashups. And Luke played like an actual kind of cool set, but he did it on an iPad.
Right. Okay.
And everyone was
okay,
like,
it's
he just used
controversial.
he used an iPad, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not a
yeah.
real DJ. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god. But he, that was when we met, I think, at
Yeah.
DQ.
At DQ. So yeah, I kind of got dropped in that in a lot of ways. It was the People's Choice. I think it was with the Sarah Naughty thing, and it was sort of
People's Choice Awards.
and
or
suddenly this
Champion or
whole
whatever.
thing fell on me. I think that was the first and possibly last time I ever judged anything because and Andy knew. So Andy was a judge as well.
And yeah,
Wasn't
that
just
was
me.
also the first time I met Andy,
Right.
which would have been a nice connecting story if he could be asked to be here.
Ha.
But
Well, he knew.
yeah,
He knew that judging things is a dicey affair,
yeah,
and I was a bit naive because you make one friend and like 6 enemies.
yeah.
But it's also impossible. Like, how can you really? Obviously, there's some technical ability. I don't think any. I remember Wes North was one of them. Also fantastic.
Yeah,
DJ.
yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember
Phil,
any
big up
others.
Phil.
But yeah, I remember meeting you.
Josh Kerr was in it as well, if you know
okay,
Kerr.
yeah, I do remember Josh
yeah,
Kerr. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you were just like super up because although you didn't win the competition,
yeah.
you did do a load of stuff. I remember like Chef Devil.
Yeah,
you
so-
were just like really up for doing stuff and getting involved.
I
I was
was-
thinking,
I was-
this guy's a good guy.
I was very young and excited to just
Yeah.
be DJing, I think. And
yeah.
again, it goes back to that kind of like pure, like the pureness of just doing it for the love
Yeah.
of music and stuff. And you actually got me a few paid gigs after that.
There you go.
So you know who really won, Luke. You know, I played Nonna's mate at midday on a Tuesday for 50 quid. So
But was that was that connected to the Olympic Games?
it was, yeah.
The torch.
Yeah, the torch
John
ceremony.
Burkill.
Yeah. It was great, man.
Wow. 2012.
2012, man. What a time. Yeah, you hooked me up.
Wow.
Big style. That 50 quid got me fed that week.
Good.
I was
glad to
sorted.
hear it. I'm
Yeah,
glad to
paid
hear
my
it.
rent, sorted me.
I remember an earlier DJ competition for a residency at the Tuesday Club, and that
Wow,
was
yeah.
really contentious. So
I bet.
Mikey J won it, and he
Yeah.
was a long running resident,
Yeah.
and Henry was in it. So Henry was part of Jungle Science, Stealth Assassin, and they were definitely I think it was like a final. I guess there was a short list,
Yeah.
and yeah, there was like a lot of beef there as well.
Oof.
It's not very positive.
Yeah, when you do a DJ competition, I guess like when there's a winner and it's not like they're the best DJ, it's just like they're just the winner.
Well, it's I think it really is who is gonna tick this box. I don't think that was quite the case with the. I can't quite remember the thinking that went into the one that me and Andy judged, but I do think they looked. We were just looking at it like, who's the purest drum and bass junglist guy, and not looking at it from the point of view of the club and the event. What do they need? To fill and actually Mikey J probably was.
And again, Tuesday Club became quite broad after that. And I did hear once Mikey J play Lethal Bees Pow over Green Onions. So I mean, he's quite broad. Do you know what I mean?
Quite broad. It was terrifying. All his records are like scratched, but he played them so quickly that he'd never get to the scratches.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe why he played them so quickly.
I think so.
I've got about 30 seconds of this one, and yeah.
It was very good.
Love Mikey, man.
Yeah.
What a DJ as well.
It's been a while, but it reminds me of when Tim and I were given a 4-hour set on One Extra, and
what a life.
This is 2006.
What a life, man.
So it's 2006, and it was on September the 11th. I remember that vividly because they said it was 2 till 6 a.m. So prime time. But it was in the studio in Ladbroke Grove. It was
right,
and we had this producer. He's still around. I've seen him recently, and we nearly cost him his job, but he hung on. He's called Uchi Uchendo, and Tim and I we weren't that young. I was 23 at that point, but we're still pretty young and exuberant. And we just, I think what they were, so if reading between the lines, which we didn't, they were looking to audition. I think it was before Chrissy Chris. I think it was when, was it L Double and Sapo had early One Extra D&B shows?
You can tell me all this information because I definitely probably won't know.
Okay, well, I reckon that's right. Cool. And they were looking, I think they moved and they wanted, it's still quite early days of One Extra, and they wanted a new resident, essentially.
Wow.
So they asked people in lots of different cities, who's your resident, who's your local D&B people, jungle people, and get them all in to do, we'll do a rotation. So we'll get the Sheffield lot in, we'll get the Manchester lot in. But I think really they were looking for, who's next.
You could have taken on that mantle.
We could have taken on that mantle.
Could have been Junglist Alliance on One Extra.
It could have been if we'd have seen it, if we'd have saw it for what it was and treated it accordingly. So if we'd come in with like a slick kind of, all the upfront D&B, if we'd listened and thought about what does One Extra need from a show and what they're really looking for, but we didn't do any of that. We thought, we've got 4 hours on One Extra. We're going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
It was all fine. It was a great studio to play in. And we just did exactly what we did, and which was to play jungle. We don't like anything new. I don't think we played anything that was from that decade. Everything was pre-noughties.
Yeah.
We did bring, because we were in a band at the time, Eyewitness, we brought a singer and a saxophonist with us to add a bit of colour.
Yeah.
Which we thought was great.
On live radio.
Yeah,
not a nightmare at all.
No, it was fine. But I remember the producer had all these words with us before we went on, and it suddenly felt very like school, lots of canning, lots of rules.
Right.
We're by our nature quite rebellious, and especially at that time. So
junglists.
We're junglists,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And you're giving us rules, and there was questions about what constitutes a swear word. And then I remember saying, so on the hour, the newsreader had to come in and read the news. It was ridiculous.
In the middle of a 4-hour jungle
in the middle of the set. And it happened repeatedly because we were on for 4 hours. We had to stop and sit in total silence while this lady just appeared out of a cupboard and in perfect Queen's English read the news. And I'm just sat there just trying not to look at Tim. And it was all about September the 11th. And I remember saying to Uchi, I was like, can we comment on the news? And he was like, no. He was like, what do you mean? And you could just see the cogs. He's like, who are these guys?
Oh
what are they even talking about? Well, he's like, why would you even suggest that? What do you mean? Of course you can't comment on the news. And I was like, well, it seems, why wouldn't we? Like, we should just read the news and we're coming back on. So like, we can give a bit of our own sort of feedback on it. And he just, you could see him thinking, and he said it's like, if I can pull this, I can stop it. And anyway, we didn't get the gig. We had a great time. Uchi kept his job because I went back and did a day in the life with Toddler T many years later. I brought Graham Walker, a fantastic old school journalist from the Star,
Yeah.
to do a day in the life with Toddler T, and I came, and Uchi was there.
Great.
And I was like, Uchi,
Did he remember me? And he went,
He
"Oh my
certainly,
god,
he certainly
oh my
did.
god."
So I thought you'd lost your job after that, and he's like, no, but there was
It
a
was
bit
very
of
close.
yeah. There's a bit where he's like, I heard Bumbleclot, I heard Ross Clark, and we were like, those definitely swear words. He was like, yes, they 100% are swear words, Alex. And I'm like, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, who's listening?
Well, and why can't you have a bit of swearing? But
Did you ever get any feedback on that from like the outside world? Was it ever like, oh, that was a
yeah,
seminal set, amazing? We
I don't
love
think
we love the news inserts.
nobody said seminal. They did. We got a lot of feedback because you did have some feedback.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
People were having a good time.
People texting in.
People
These guys are
texting
sick.
in. Yeah, old school. Yeah, no, I
More
mean,
Bumbleclarts, please.
yeah, exactly. R.I.P. by Remark.
Yeah.
But we didn't read between, and I do often think about that because there was definitely there was an opportunity there, but I don't actually regret it at all.
It sounds like you guys had the most fun.
We did have a lot.
I would
of fun.
love to like recreate it at the next like Junglist Alliance set that you do at like, I don't know, like a rave somewhere.
Yeah.
Like halfway through a 2-hour set, I'll just come
Read
on
the
and read the
news.
news.
I have, yeah, it'd be amazing. I don't think I've really ever listened to it, or didn't, or maybe at the time. I have it all. I have 4. They gave us 4 CDs on BBC branded CDs
Oh, dude.
as a memento.
Please put it. You gotta rip it off and get it out there somewhere.
I actually have
News included.
I obsessively, to some degree, I keep everything, but because I'm rubbish at self promotion, I haven't put any of it out. So I've got I had Sub FM, had a radio show on there for like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years.
Wow,
2
man.
stints on Sheffield Live,
Yeah, yeah.
an early one and a later one. Loads of live shows, gigs, a mixture of digital files, mini discs, CDs.
Wow.
It's all at Drop Dead. I've got my office at church.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all in there.
Wow.
Don't, but it's quite secure actually. Ollie Sykes' dad has
Yeah.
got it on lock.
Yeah. Don't you dare try and burgle this.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've also got everybody's, like, you mentioned, like, all the producers, people like Deadbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't got his tune. Titch, Off Me Not.
Yeah, yeah.
Michael, sorry. Cryogenics. I got it all. It's all there on CDs and
Wow.
and the producers themselves have lost all this music.
If
and
you ever need anybody to come and archive it,
I definitely do.
yeah, yeah. Let's. I don't know if I want to do it,
No,
but
you don't.
somebody else might want to.
It's a painstaking job, but I put a few little bits on Mixcloud at some stage, but I just sort of move on and don't really think about it. But particularly as time goes on, there's probably some interesting stuff there.
Definitely, I think the passage of time, I guess, it eventually kind of highlights how important it is to keep this stuff.
Yeah.
My wife often asks me why I've got a bag full of old flyers, and I say because I've got the flyers from the first gigs I ever did in there, and they
Absolutely.
probably mean more to me than our own child. No, joking. No,
Yeah.
but no, but like a
You
lot
gotta
of
keep that.
stuff. It's like it's like your journey. It's like the way things looked.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
stylistically, like
Yeah.
the way the words people were using to promote stuff, and yeah,
The flyers that Tim and I used to design were so bad.
but so good probably at the same time. Like I bet people now would definitely not try and
I
make
wish
them
we
as
had
retro flyers.
Canva back then, and we would have really benefited from Canva. I think Tim taught me how to use Photoshop, probably, but because Photoshop is way overpowered for what we were what we needed to do. You could put a stroke on it. That was important. But I remember a base bar flight. So Tim and Henry were doing it, and it was quite slick. Henry brought a level of professionalism, and then he went to London, and the mantle fell to us. And I at the time, I just had favourite animals. It was like still internet was still sort of discovering stuff, and I remember we just put, this was me, we put all of my favourite animals on there. It's just like weird ones, like the star-nosed mole. I really like that one.
Yeah.
There was a funny frog that looked a bit and just completely randomly we'd be flying outside the Tuesday Club, as we did every Tuesday for a million years. And I remember one guy in particular was a design student, and he's quite surprised. He's like, messy gangster, no, and just gave it back to it.
messy gangster, no.
And but he was critiquing our design skills, which were pretty bad.
Messy gangsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had another one where we put Prince Charles smoking a spliff on it. I think we had to, or no, we didn't.
I think you definitely had to.
We had to. we were working with Congo Natty, and we had to put Haile Selassie on it. That was right.
Right.
And actually, a gig got pulled that we'd organised as part of this in Leeds. We kind of did a joint booking thing. Gig got pulled because the flyer designer sent a flyer to Congo Natty with Haile Selassie on the flyer, and then printed it without it,
Oh.
and they got wind of it,
shit.
and they pulled the gig. But
Wow.
we kept Haile Selassie on our flyer, and we supplemented it with Prince Charles
Smoking a
on
doobie.
on opposite him, and that was fine. That was
Wow.
okay.
Big.
Yeah, that was at Band on the Wall in Manchester in 2004-5.
Dude, you've done so much shit, man.
The
Like,
venue's fallen
have you
down
written
and
it
been-
all down as well? Have you written, like, have you got a diary, a book, or like?
I had before proper Google Calendar. I used to keep a diary of
Okay.
my bookings.
That's,
I've got paper diaries with it'll say where I was DJing.
that's amazing.
Sort
man.
of 07, 08. No, it's mostly in my head. A few things I mean, I used to write. I wrote for ATM magazine. I was the news editor, and I used to write articles. That was a big part of the dubstep journey. Was I wrote an article about dubstep, which took
Yeah.
a long time and was very thorough. And I made the mistake of sending it to everybody in advance so they could argue about the details.
Yeah.
So Mala would say, no, that's not right. And somebody else would be contradicting him. And I interviewed Scream, Benga, Code 9, Youngster, Mala, Marianne Hobbs, and more, I think, and tried to piece it all together into a coherent thing. I was much better at writing back then. Now I'm like terrible.
Again, it's all
but-
storytelling, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some things are written down, but mostly not. But it's all kind of there in one way or another.
Dude.
There's flyers and thoughts and memories and flashbacks.
It's such a broad range of things. I think you said on Jack's podcast that, and I kind of loved that you were like, you were working in marketing and PR or whatever. I don't have a marketing degree or whatever. But you just, all your life experiences are sort of taking you to places where you're like, oh, you can do a bit of that, and
Yeah, well, I
Mm.
think this is. I mean, you'll know as anybody in music, you develop. You have to do stuff, don't you?
yeah, man.
You have to do your events, so you promote
do.
event. No one was booking us, so we have to put our own events on. And
Yeah.
and it's kind of the opposite. Well, it's not like we went and sat down in college and said this is how you run an event, and then we did it.
Yeah.
We just ran the events, and then there was when I hit my late-ish 20s, and I finally moved out of home
Yeah.
and had more responsibility and had to have more consistent income.
Yeah.
There's a sort of realization that actually these skills that I'd developed separately to just sort of DJing, other people would pay for you to do them. You know, you talked about your corporate gig last week,
Yeah,
and I encourage any young creative people, and I've done lots of tuition and stuff. You can't ever guarantee somebody a superstardom. You know, that's false because there's so many things that may or may not happen.
Yeah, it's chance. It's a roll of the dice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not just about your own effort and your own talent.
Or manifesting, by the way.
Or manifesting. But if you're set, it's like I'm going to have a creative career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% achievable.
Yeah.
Not a question about that.
I agree, and I often say that the best thing about like even just doing this podcast has been like networking with people, learning who's doing what and who's got what going on, and everybody that we've spoken to on here has like I've done other stuff with them outside of this room because we've had a good time or conversation or a good chat or whatever, and it's great to see so many people doing so many different varied things.
Yeah.
And kind of love that. Just like again, similar to you, connecting with people and like speaking to them about their stories and stuff. Connection that you made for me as well. You sorted me some hot dub plates out
Oh yeah.
in 2016.
Yeah. With you, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I should have got one at the same time because I did. You got Capleton dub.
I did, but you have one
We have one.
for Junglist Alliance.
We do.
But you know, I wanted to tell this story because it's so funny because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I really love that tune,
Yeah.
but I'd never ordered a dub plate before.
No.
So I didn't send over what to say.
Yeah.
And he just went,
Jimmy Gent.
I'll say Jimmy Gent.
Yeah.
Because my DJ name is Jimmy the Gent.
Yeah.
It's a bit long. We'll just call him Jimmy Gent.
Jimmy Gent.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. He does drop a homophobic slur in it. And I will say Jimmy Gent do keep the Batman friend.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do I.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They are all my friends for
Yes.
sure. But it is a banger of a tune. And then Dawn Penn as well,
Yes.
which is one of my favourites. I
Yeah, and-
still drop that now in a lot of sets.
I was there when that was recorded in Birmingham,
Wow.
I think, with Robin with Jam Jar Sound. Yeah, because she played at Tramlines, and then
Yeah.
we did it. We did it. I think I arranged it. We did a dub plate session because Robin does this all the time at his studio in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And she had a son with her who was quite young.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us sneaking off with the son, and he had a crafty smoke away from mum.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
I didn't partake, of course.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
yeah. Of course. Yeah.
But it was, it was very good. It was a good experience. He'd not been in England very long, and he found the buildings like scary, because they're so old.
Right. Okay.
We were driving around Birmingham. There's all these kind of like big ornate old buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
And, it was an interesting grouping. That was a good one.
It was again. It was like one of those things. I think you put something on Facebook or a social networking thing, being like, "Anyone want a dub plate of Cableton?" And I was like, "Yeah, please, that would be amazing." And then I think you messaged me for the second one, like, "God, Dawn Penning, do you want a bit of Dawn Penn?" I'm like, "Yes, mate, please."
Yeah.
And I think again, I didn't even send anything over, and then she said something like, "Can't test Jimmy the Gent."
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. It's
amazing.
So good. And did you hear that? Oh my God, it's so fun. And sometimes I play it in my sets. And they'll be like, everyone will be like, what's this? This isn't like the original. Just mix it into the original.
Yeah.
But like for the one person in the room that does get it, they're like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
Like,
it can be an addictive habit.
Oh, dude. I if you go again, like, do let me know, because I'm sure I'll get some more.
It's sort of the Fabergé eggs of music. It's like the yes, but it's
so special.
We played one on the AG stream. It was good to do.
Which one did you play?
Played the Cableton one.
Oh,
a Kidlib jungle version.
Yes, man.
Jungler City Alliance sound.
Wow,
it was good. I was like, okay, AG, I know you like your dub plates, and because he does have quite a few. I was like, oh, we're going to start with one. And a youngster in the crowd shouted out, "What's a dub plate?"
Oh,
and so I explained it.
That's so cool though, because like that's it as well. Like it's like you got to pass that shit on. If you don't know, you don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I like that, particularly this day and age. I mean, now it's tricky because unless you see it in person, I mean, you can just AI a dub plate, and that's a whole nother thing. But it's a nice way of connecting to the artist and actually ensuring there was for a long time artists were making all their money on dub plates. When the sound system clash culture was at its kind of peak, you could just
forget about that as well. You don't think about that. Yeah,
it's sort of like MCPS, which is your mechanical royalty. So it ensures that every time one unit is sold, you get something. And because, as we know, royalties are kind of crap and a weird broken system. So it's a good sort of it's like a hardwired way that artist can definitely get paid.
Should be brought back, this kind of thing, I think, as well, like for sure, because it is like it's a special thing. Toddler's got some mad dub plates.
Yes,
I remember him just doing a set at Lead Mill or something, or I can't remember. I think it was him, JME, and somebody else, and he played a few that I think I'd already heard him play, and then he dropped a Sean Paul dub plate, and I went, "Shut up! This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
And it was like it was "Give Me the Light," and it's like Toddler T's got him out on the floor or something. And I was like, "Just stop it! Just stop it!" At that point, I think obviously he'd already become incredibly successful, and he was doing huge bits in the musical web. But I think at that point I was like, that's like the point where I realized how big he'd gotten.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least how well connected he was to get a Sean Paul.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was so sick.
Do you remember the Rodigan set in the Bowery?
I do, yeah.
Tramlines.
I wasn't there, but was it 2009 or 2010? One of the early ones, wasn't it?
I think it might have been 2010 or even 11. There was one where he did do it in the Bowery.
Yeah.
And then the second time he didn't, because it was too roadblock, and we went to DQ.
Yeah.
And there was like a tech house night on, and it just got thrown out.
Wow.
And Rodigan just took over. He was playing his Fuji's dub plates on that night.
Oh my God. I mean, Rodigan's a bad man as well for
absolutely
all sorts of dub plates and stuff. And again, you were saying earlier about it was a Saxon sound system.
Saxon sound,
and he did famously sort of clash with those guys, right?
I'm sure that Rodigan had some big clashes with Saxon. The big one in Bermuda was Saxon Addies. Addies is New York, Saxon's London.
Yeah.
Bermuda's sort of neutral. Well, there's one in Milton Keynes at the Sanctuary.
Yeah.
1993, the World Cup clash. Saxon won because it's a lot based on kind of crowd response. And the suggestion from Addies was that, home crowd. So Bermuda was like neutral territory to some degree because it's quite far from both New York and London.
Yeah.
And the tunes that were coming out, the kind of the peak is when the Saxon plays a Bunny Lai dub plate, pass me a dub plate, and he says, there's no way you have this one. Addies did have it, but had kept it and never played it, waiting for that. It's this sort of chess move. It was in the box.
Wow.
And he said, if you have this, I won't play anymore. And then he did have it, but he said, I didn't say that. I meant if you had it with this art. I think it had Johnny Osborne on it as well. And it got really heated. But even Addies were pulling out dubs because the Saxon artists were people like Roger Robin and Maxi Priest. Maxi Priest, a big Saxon artist, and they said this dub was recorded by Maxi Priest in the Saxon studio. The ultimate insult, like we got an Addies dub plate in your own studio. But it's this kind of arms race of just having to pull for more and more tunes, and this one's a combination of Beanie Man and Bounty Killer and it's just one tune, and we're going to hear 20 seconds of it and pull it, and it might cost them 1,000, 2,000 quid, and
that's the flex as well, isn't it? Like
it's true.
I mean, I guess for most of the DJing I do these days, I probably need more like a Spice Girls dub plate, but
that would be good as well.
Even still, I'd love a bit of that. But, mate, thank you so much for coming in. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I know that you've got plenty of things to do, businesses to run, children to put to bed.
Mainly that.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming in, man. And
My
please
pleasure.
do come in again and chat to us about anything that you've got going on or whatever. But
thank you.
Andy H will be here next time, I'm sure, to defend himself. And
I'd love to do one with Andy.
Absolutely, definitely.
It'd be like backroom of the Tuesday Club.
Oh, it'd be sick. It'd be so good. And let everybody know that's watching where they can find you if they want to keep up with Junglist Alliance. And
this is what AG said,
stuff.
and I was like, "Don't we do social media?" Well, we have a Junglist Alliance Facebook page. I've got a Deadman Junglist Instagram.
Deadman Junglist on Instagram,
and then we're coming up at the Electric Studios this weekend. But I mean, this weekend will be not.
No, it goes out on Friday.
Okay,
it goes out on Friday.
Okay, well, Saturday.
So if you're stuck for something to do on Saturday night, there might be some tickets left.
Oh, definitely hit me up and we'll sort you out.
Okay, amazing. Hit up Alex and he'll sort you out. Electric Studios, Sheffield, opening weekend.
Exactly.
Alex is gonna be down with Dub Central.
Yeah.
Who else you got on?
Juju
Club. Is it Mungo's? Is it Mungo's on this weekend? Mungo's Hi-Fi. Aziza J, former guest of the podcast. Gentleman's Dub Club.
Yeah.
Huge lineup. So if you fancy a bit of that, hit up Alex on his socials that he doesn't monitor.
I do. No, I do. I just don't push them very hard.
Yeah, fair. And I don't blame you for that. Nice one, man. Thank you so much. Big respect.